welcome to the deep dive. You sent us some really compelling material this week, all about how just a few focused moments can, well, completely redefine how we interact.
Yeah, it got us thinking straight away, didn't it? How can something that sounds so simple, a few minutes, maybe even seconds, have such a varied impact?
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into the 3-minute rule and some related ideas too.
And it's fascinating because, like you said, the name pops up in different places, but the rules themselves, they apply to really different but equally crucial parts of life.
Right. We're talking parenting, communication day to day, and even, surprisingly, high-stakes business pitches.
Our sources for this are pretty diverse. We've got insights from a psychologist on child development, advice from child behavior experts, and even strategies from a Hollywood pitch guru.
That's right. So our mission today, let's try and pull out the key insights from all these different angles. We want to understand the kind of underlying principles, right? And figure out how this focused, intentional interaction can actually lead to breakthroughs in understanding and connection. We're asking, what makes brief so, well, powerful?
Yeah, good question. Let's unpack it. Where should we start? Parenting seems like a good place, very relatable for many listeners.
Definitely. So there's this psychologist, Natalia Sirotich. You found her work highlighted in that Whiteside article. She talks about a specific 3-minute rule for parents.
That's the one. And she believes it can really dramatically improve trust and connection with your kids.
Okay, so when we talk about this specific 3-minute rule for parents, what does it actually involve? Like, what are the steps? And the timing seems important too.
Yeah, the timing is key. She advises meeting your child every single day as if you haven't seen them for ages, even if it's just been, 5 minutes while you were in the kitchen or something.
Okay.
And the method is specific. Get down to their eye level, give them a hug, and then immediately, right then, ask them what happened while you were apart.
So prime moments are like picking them up from school or nursery or when you get home from work.
Exactly. It's about creating that really intentional reunion moment every time.
And what's the thinking behind that? The psychological reason for making that initial contact so focused. Why is that window so critical?
Well, according to Sirotich, kids tend to just spill everything they remember, all the important stuff, in those very first minutes after you reconnect.
Like an open channel, but only briefly.
Pretty much. It's a fleeting window. And if you miss it, she says the consequences can really differ depending on the child's personality.
How so?
Some kids might start to hold back important information over time. They kind of internalize that maybe what they have to share isn't that important, right?
Yeah, I can see that. So
Yeah.
parents end up missing key details about their kids' day, their life.
Precisely. And that could definitely cause problems down the line, create this gap of unspoken stuff.
Makes sense. What about other kids?
Well, on the flip side, other children might just talk endlessly later on, recalling things throughout the evening.
Okay.
But the risk there is that parents might start to subconsciously tune out. It just becomes, like she puts it, background noise.
And again, vital details get missed, just lost in the flood of words.
Exactly.
So it's really important to clarify here. This rule isn't saying you only spend 3 minutes a day with your child, is it? That sounds wrong.
Oh, absolutely not. No. It's all about the quality and the focus of that very specific initial interaction, those first 3 minutes of reunion.
Got it. Dedicated, undistracted connection right at the start.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And the promise she makes is pretty profound. She believes that consistently doing this helps maintain a child's trust right into their teenage years, fostering what she calls a complete and total understanding.
Wow, complete and total understanding. That's a huge claim for, just 3 minutes of focused effort each time. Is it just about getting the info dump, or is there something deeper psychologically, like making the child feel really seen?
Oh, it's definitely about feeling seen and valued. Massively. Beyond just the information, it builds this consistent pattern of trust, Right.
The
child learns, okay, my parent is interested. They're a reliable place for my thoughts, my experiences, my inner world actually matters. It sets a foundation.
Okay.
And there are other recommendations, too, from psychologists to deepen that understanding. Things like, consistently spending time daily doing something together that you both actually enjoy.
Not just ticking a box.
Exactly. And actively showing you hear them, maybe repeating back what they said to confirm you got it. That validates their feelings. Also, avoid faking excitement. Kids see right through that, don't they? Be genuine.
Sure.
And importantly, circle back to previous conversations later. Show you remember, show you value what they shared before.
That shows you were really listening.
It does. And finally, they advise Avoiding those long, kind of pointless arguments, even if you know you're right. Instead, just acknowledge the disagreement. Something like, okay, I understand that you disagree with me. It respects their view, even if you don't share it.
It's amazing, really, how these simple, consistent actions can build such a strong connection. But this power of intentional brevity, it's not just for the home, right?
Right.
What about getting kids to actually listen and follow instructions? That's a whole other challenge.
Oh, yeah. And this is where sources like Rise Within Kids and Dr. Jacques offer some incredibly practical, almost game-changing strategies.
Okay, I'm listening.
So the first critical step, according to Rise Within Kids, tackles that classic parent frustration.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to win the child's attention before you even start speaking.
Right, so no shouting, put your shoes on.
Yeah.
From the kitchen while you're doing the washing up, which, let's be honest, we've probably all done.
Guilty is charged, I think, for many of us. Yeah, you need to physically go over to them, get down on their level, make eye contact, maybe a gentle touch on the shoulder.
Connect first.
Exactly. When you make that physical and visual connection first, they say kids are way more likely to listen. It signals, hey, this is important, and it's for you.
Makes total sense. You grab their focus before you deliver the actual message.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got their attention. Now what? How do you make the message stick?
Well, Rise Within Kids hammers this point home. Kids tune out long speeches, apparently after about 8 seconds.
8 seconds, wow.
Yeah. So the advice is blunt. Say what you need to say in a few simple words. They use a great comparison. Think tweet, not TED Talk.
Tweet, not TED Talk. I like that. That's memorable. Does it give tips on how to condense things like that?
It does, indirectly. By suggesting you offer limited choices, this helps encourage cooperation instead of just barking orders, which, can make anyone feel resistant.
Right, powerless.
Exactly. Try offering 2 acceptable options, like, would you like to tell me about school after lunch, or should we chat about it before we read your book?
Okay. So they still have to do the thing, but they get a say in how or when.
Precisely. It gives them a sense of control and makes them feel respected, empowered even, and that significantly boosts the chance they'll actually cooperate.
Clever. And then there's the C word, consistency.
Yeah.
Always comes up in parenting advice.
Always. Consistency is everything, they say. If you follow through on consequences calmly and predictably, kids learn your words mean something. Your actions match your words.
Otherwise,
they quickly learn to just tune you out because they figure, you probably don't mean it anyway. There's no real follow through.
Right. Okay, now you also mentioned Dr. Jacques in this 10-second pause. That sounds intriguing. Supposedly helps kids listen the first time without yelling.
It really does sound intriguing, and apparently it's incredibly effective, but requires parental discipline.
Okay, how does it work?
It's deceptively simple. You tell the child what you need them to do in a regular, firm voice, definitely not shouting. Then you pause, and you silently count to 10 in your head.
And while you're counting?
You do nothing else. Don't repeat yourself, don't sigh, don't prompt. Just observe them silently.
Okay, that feels counterintuitive. My instinct would be to repeat it louder after about 2 seconds.
Mine too, but that's the point. The method needs you to be close enough to be heard and seen. The power, they say, is in giving the kid an actual chance to process the instruction, or maybe get past a distraction, or even just, test the waters to see if you actually mean it this time.
Yeah. Testing boundaries.
Exactly. And it crucially helps parents break that habit of immediate repetition, which, ironically, teaches kids not to listen the first time.
Because they know you'll just say it again.
Right.
And again.
Right. So if the child does comply during those 10 seconds, great. You immediately give positive feedback. Thanks so much for listening quickly, sweetie. Something like that. Reinforce it.
Okay, simple enough. But what if they don't? After that first 10-second pause, they're still ignoring you or haven't moved. What then?
Right. The next step. You give a warning or a reminder. And here's the key. You rephrase the original request exactly the same way. No changes. Then you clearly state the consequence. If you don't do the task, then I will help you do it.
I'll help you do it. Okay.
It's another 10 seconds of silent waiting.
Okay, a second chance.
Yep. And if, after that second pause, there's still no compliance, you follow through immediately and calmly.
How?
You state, matter-of-factly, you didn't do what I told you to, so now I'll help you do it. And then you physically, gently guide them to complete the task.
Like physically help them put their shoes on or take their hand and walk them to the door?
Exactly that. And the consistency here is critical. Repeating those phrases, if you don't, and you didn't, so now I'll help you, the exact same way, every single time. It helps the child learn the routine, and it actually helps the parent stay calm and purposeful, not reactive.
That sounds incredibly powerful, actually, because it removes the negotiation, the yelling, and teaches them you mean business the first time. Any bonus tips with this method?
Yes, there's a great one for boosting compliance right from the start. Provide a reason before you give the command.
The why.
Exactly. Instead of just put your shoes on, try it's almost time to leave for school, so please put your shoes on. Or someone might step on those and break them, so please pick them up.
Giving them the why first makes it logical, taps into their understanding.
Seems to, yeah. Increases the chances they'll listen without needing the whole pause routine.
Okay, this is fascinating. Let's try and connect the dots now. We've seen this real power in these focused moments, the 3-minute reunion, the 10-second pause in family life. But what happens if we shift gears completely? Apply a similar 3-minute rule idea to, say, the world of business and professional communication.
Well, that's exactly where Brant Pinvidic, the Hollywood producer and pitch expert, comes in. His 3-minute rule, which he details in his audiobook, is specifically designed for delivering really powerful, memorable pitches and presentations.
Okay, another 3-minute rule. What's his core concept?
It's shockingly simple again. Convey only what needs to be said, clearly and concisely, in 3 minutes or less.
3 minutes or less for a whole pitch.
Yep. He actually argues against lots of colorful slides and, overly catchy language. He pushes for absolute simplicity and clarity.
And this guy knows his stuff, right? His background.
Oh, yeah. Incredibly impressive. Sold over 300 TV shows and movies, ran a TV network, headed up major production companies. Think The Biggest Loser, Bar Rescue, smash hits.
Wow. Okay, so he definitely knows how to capture attention and make an idea stick in a very tough market. But hang on. In a world where everyone's shouting louder, trying to cram in more info, isn't there a risk that saying less just means you get overlooked?
That's the counterintuitive brilliance he argues for. His system helps people simplify their messages and say less to get more, precisely because it cuts through all that noise. The goal isn't just that your audience remembers your message, it's that they can instantly and accurately pass it on to others. That's the real test.
The transferability factor. Makes sense.
Yeah. He provides a framework to boil any idea down to its absolute essential elements and then structure it for maximum impact. And it's super versatile. He talks about it working for everything from complex biotech investment pitches to pitching huge sponsorship deals for sports stadiums. Same core principle.
So identify that core nugget of value, the absolute must-know info, and present it so clearly it's unforgettable and easy to repeat.
You got it. Pinvidic's motto sums it up perfectly. Simplify. Say less. Get more.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally about respecting that attention is a scarce resource.
Okay, wow. So what's truly fascinating here is we kind of bring these different threads together, these different 3-minute rules, these related strategies. There's this really consistent theme emerging, isn't there? Across parenting, communication, business.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, what's really striking is how these diverse applications, brevity, focus, presence, they all point to a pretty fundamental principle that whether you're dealing with a toddler or a CEO, our brains seem hardwired to crave clarity, and our hearts maybe yearn for genuine, focused presence from others.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. It's not just about being efficient, is it? It's about respecting the sheer scarcity of human attention, emotional bandwidth too, making every interaction count like a high-yield investment.
That's a great way to put it.
And it raises, I think, an important question for all of us, for you listening. How often do we maybe overlook or just rush through moments? Moments that, with just a little bit of intentional focus, maybe some brevity, could significantly improve our connections or just the clarity of our messages.
That is a powerful thought to sit with and a brilliant way to synthesize everything we've explored today. This deep dive has really shone a light on the transformative power of that initial 3-minute connection for parents. Those super practical strategies for getting kids to listen.
Yeah, the 10-second pause.
Right. And the undeniable impact of being concise and clear in the professional world, too. These focused, short bursts of intentional engagement, they really can be transformative for you.
So thinking about everything we've discussed, what stands out most to you from this deep dive into the sources you shared with us? How might some of these principles apply in your own life, your own interactions?
Yeah, that's a good prompt. Consider your daily interactions, at home, at work, everywhere. Where could you apply this power of presence, this intentional brevity, to maybe achieve a better connection or clearer understanding or just more impactful communication, not just with kids, but really in all areas of your life?
Scan the QR code to download our app, practice maths, science, English, and more